now is Haleemat Oluyemisi Busari, running mate of the PDP gubernatorial candidate to the Lagos State People's Democratic Party, Mr. Jimmy Agbaje. She's certainly not a figurehead, having been a corporate lawyer with many years of outstanding success in her chosen field of enterprise. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Victoria.
All right, so my first question to you. Now, Lagos has been a stronghold of the APC for many, many years. And we've had, you're running with somebody who has tried at this position several times, but has been unsuccessful. Why do you think this time is different? For you to join, obviously you have some confidence of some sort in this trial.
Thank you, Victoria. My starting point will be that what do I bring to the table? Or what do we have to offer Lagosians? And I think that this ticket is a much stronger ticket. It's a very strong ticket. Both Jimmy Agbaje and I are professionals, and we're people that bring years of capability and experience to the table. And I believe that for me, the kind of things I've done in the last 30 years definitely puts me in good stead. And I've been in the corporate world for over 30 years, and we're saying that we're asking Lagosians to give us a chance, you know, to give us an opportunity to govern them. And I think because we respect Lagosians, we're passionate about Lagosians, we have the capability, we can do it. And really, what is governance about? Governance is ability to manage stakeholders. Governance is ability to influence. Governance is ability to negotiate. These are the things you do in government because you're trying to get the best deal for your state. I mean, the transactions to be done, right. You want the best deal for them. And so basically, this is what we bring to the table, and we believe that this is what Lagosians at this point need.
I wanted to follow up on that because, yes, Jimmy Agbaje has been running for a number of times, sadly unsuccessful. Does the PDP not have any other credible candidates other than Jimmy Agbaje? Why must it be him all the time?
Jimmy Agbaje has run 2 times before now. This
Yes.
is his 3rd time.
Correct.
The first time he didn't run on the platform of PDP, that was in 2007. He didn't contest in 2011 because there was no need to. He didn't see the need to. And he contested in 2015 on the platform of PDP. But let me say, let's step back a little and let's focus on the important things. I think that the fact that Jimmy Agbaje has run 2 other times before now shows a strength of character. Because this is somebody who believes that he has something to offer.
But he doesn't seem to be resonating with the people, otherwise he would have been a governor by now.
I'm not sure that is a correct position, because it's not only in this situation that you've had an aspirant contest and not win. Even in America, we've had an American president before who ran and didn't win and came back much stronger. And he won. And he served America and did laudable things for America. So saying that because he's done it twice and he didn't succeed doesn't mean that he doesn't have anything to offer. In fact, I think that is what shows that he's convinced about Lagos. He's passionate about Lagos, and he knows what he can do and how he can change the narrative of Lagos. And that's why he's put himself up again, and that's why I have teamed up with him to serve the people of Lagos.
Okay, let's talk about, we're chatting just before the interviews came, and you talked about your campaign being run on 3 points: livability in Lagos State for the citizens, for the people living in it, the economy, and the future.
Yes.
Well, there are some common complaints in Lagos State. Let me start off with the infrastructural deficit.
Yes.
So now, when you're running on these 3 points, when you're talking about livability, it still comes down to infrastructure. When it comes to economy, it still comes down to infrastructure. When you're talking about the future, it still comes down to infrastructure. Now, the APC government has been seen as a progressive government in Lagos State because Lagos State is doing better than many other states across the country. Now, what would you do differently as regards uplifting the lifestyle, making it better for the people of Lagos State?
Our dream for Lagos is a Lagos where things work. And when you talk about livability, what do we mean by livability? We're talking about health. We're talking about education. We're talking about transportation. We're talking about the roads. let's take a quick sampling of public schools in Lagos. There are roughly about 1,000 schools in Lagos. In Lagos of 2019, the students who still sit on the floor. What kind of education are you giving to those children? How can they learn in these kind of conditions? You have to sit on the floor. How do you learn anything? The health, you go to the hospitals, there are no drugs. The roads, the traffic, all of us spend 3 hours going to work and coming back to work. We have incidents of people having health issues every day who literally slump in their cars because they can't get to the hospital. So these are the things that concern us. These are the things that we're talking about, and these are the things that we're saying we want to fix. And when you say economy, how easy is it to do business in Lagos?
The multiple taxes.
How easy is it to do business in Lagos? What are we putting in place to ensure that we make sure that people find it easy to do business in Lagos?
I'm glad you mentioned that because, I mean, I've been following Jimmy Agbaje's campaign for a while, and I know one of his policies is the regeneration of other parts of Lagos, Badagry being one of them. Now, under yourself and Agbaje's potential administration, what are your plans for alternative transport and traffic management? Because I know that involves how people would do business in other parts of Lagos, getting to and from their businesses, especially on the mainland, you know, which has seen, you know, in my opinion, has been neglected in terms of development for a long time in comparison to the island. What are your plans for alternative transport?
Generally, what we're looking at is to put in place a situation where people are able to move with a lot more ease from one point to the other. Now, the way you're going to be able to do this effectively is to break it down. So you're going to have short-term, medium-term, and long-term. I mean, that's the rational way to do it. And we're saying that for short-term, there will be some quick wins. So fix all the roads. Fill the potholes and the craters on the road. Sometimes these are the things that cause bottlenecks and, you know, freeze up traffic.
But that's also because there's a lot of cars on the road. We need an alternative mode of transport.
I will get to that, you know, but so we will do that. We're also saying, look at the traffic lights. Sometimes the settings of the traffic lights, something as basic as that, helps to free traffic. Those are all things that will be done in the short term. Now in the medium term, Lagos is literally surrounded by water. Yes. What are we doing with our waterways? Why don't we bring in big ferries that can move people from point to point? If we need to dredge, we dredge. This falls in line with part of our own ideas and what it is we want to do, because we're saying that renewal of the city, rejuvenation of the urban areas is something we need to take seriously. So you need to create ease of transportation for people. I mean, I'm sure you have also been caught in this crazy traffic that we all go through on a daily basis. It impacts everybody, from you, the parents, to the children, because you get home, the kids are asleep, for those of us who have children, so you don't even get to know what it is they're doing in school. How do you parent? And so these are the things that we're passionate about.
And you've talked about some sectors that really have piqued our interest. But you've mentioned some plans, but how much do you think you can achieve in 4 years?
4 years is a long time. Trust me. If you're governing for service, 4 years is a long time. We've had people who've done it in the past. I don't know if you've heard of a certain gentleman called Alhaji Lateef Jakonde. Jakonde did.
Jakonde is modeling his.
He's not modeling his campaign on it. It's just that it's an example of what is doable in 4 years. So people tend to think 4 years is so short. But trust me, when you have a plan and a program well thought through, and you have the will to serve the people, trust me, 4 years is a long time. And there's so much that can be done in 4 years. One of the things we want to do, part of the things we would do immediately we get into power, is to look at the schools, because we believe that with education, we're going to drive everything. And what we've come up with is something called the education economy. And this is going to be used to jumpstart the economy again. And what are we saying here? So you have roughly over 1,000 schools, primary schools in Lagos. So we come into power, and immediately you attack the infrastructure in all of these schools. You do that, you're generating work, because you need to rebuild the schools, you need to do the roads that take you to the school, you need to provide water, you need to provide power. In all of these, you are generating work. So These are the kind of things that we intend to do. And then, of course, you start with the schools, you go on to the local government. What we believe is that the local government has to be empowered because they are the ones who understand the communities, and the schools will be in the communities. So you can't effectively be running a government without empowering your local government, who would help you to drill down and do all these things.
We've discussed your plans for transport, we've discussed your plans for education, which seem to me to be quite laudable. Now let's talk health.
Yes.
Now, in Lagos State currently, there are about 20 psychiatrists employed across the state now. We have a huge mental health issue across the state. What are some of your policies for psychological management?
Well, I think that the starting point for health is even basic health before you get to the more sophisticated things. Because you know what causes frustrations and psychological issues is lack of ability to live well. In a lot of situations, those are the root cause of the problems. So when the root cause of the problems are attacked, you find that you're going to have a reduction in that. That is not to say we do not have plans for that. But what I'm saying to you is that when people live well, they have jobs. They can get to work and not be stuck in traffic for 6 hours. They have water. They have power. Life is a lot more enjoyable and frustration is reduced. And so you find out that a lot of all the second-level ailments are stepped down. For basic health, our plan is to make sure that in every community, which was what I said to you about building Lagos around the education economy. So for every community where you have a school, there will be a basic health facility so that you're sure that the children are looked after and everybody else who lives in that community also gets medical attention.
All right. Let me interrupt here. You've spoken so well about the plans, and it would make anybody excited. Are you being an eternal optimist? Because this is your first foray into politics. You're not a career politician. We've heard politicians make us promises before, and they do not follow through on these promises. Do you think that you understand the workings of politics in Nigeria enough to sit here and make these promises and hope that you can fulfill them?
Victoria, I'll go back to what I said earlier. What is governance? We're trying to govern a state here. This is what we're trying to do, JK and I. We're not playing politics. We're saying give us the opportunity to govern a state and set things right. And I've identified to you what governance is. Governance is managing stakeholders. It's the ability to influence.
How have you been able to wade the waters being new on the political scene and being a woman as well? Have you had any challenges?
I really need to understand what you mean with the political waters, because what we're trying to do here is to get into government to serve the people. And what do you require? You require certain skills to govern. These skills are skills that I have garnered over my odd 30 years in the corporate world. And trust me, whatever needs to be waded in giving service in government, I have done in the corporate world as well. After all, I'm a woman. I didn't change my sex. I was a woman when I was in the corporate world, and I am still a woman. And I was able to hold my own in the corporate world.
The conversation has been about women being a part of politics, even voting and then running for offices. So seeing a woman who is running for executive governor of a state,
I mean, there's only 7% of women
the deputy governor of the state, and you know that, okay, how did she get there? What has...
Mine was a call to service. I was invited to serve as deputy governor of Lagos State on the platform of the PDP, and I accepted. And why did I accept? Because I've always been somebody who doesn't believe in status quo. I've always been somebody all my life who has always felt, how can I impact positively? I've always been somebody who believes that we can always make things better. And that was why when the opportunity came, I stood up to be counted, and I accepted. And I believe that with the experience I have garnered over the years, I definitely can function effectively in that role and will impact in building the Lagos that Lagosians will be proud of to live in.
Thank you very much. Just before you go, very, very briefly, how many young people will you be having in your administration? Because I know you're very vocal about youth empowerment. Just before you go.
Let me say to you that I can't sit here and tell you that I'll have 2 or 3. But what I can say to
You
you,
can work with percentages.
what I can say to you is that it's something I'm passionate about. Let me also say to you that as a policy for our campaign, we have decided that 10% of whatever work or activity is going on in Lagos State will go to women and youth.
Fantastic.
That is something that we
Thank
have
you
decided
very
on.
much. It's been great having you on, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Alagbe. It was good talking to you.
Thank you, likewise.